Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, Michael Rika and Rob Schaefer, y'all present?
Sure.
And you may, are you going to be helping him out?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to sit on your left, Mike.
This is my daughter, and then her husband, my son-in-law, is right there.
We're gonna.
All right, now this is, well, folks, get settled first.
You're good. And then we're gonna swivel straight ahead.
Okay, cool.
All right, now this is primarily for Mr. Schaefer.
Yes.
So I frequently exercise at the YMCA on Plum Street, and I believe I recognize Mr. Rika, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
And we don't have a relationship. I think I may have helped you once or twice. Just, letting you kind of saying hello, letting you know what was in front of you, things of that nature.
Yes. Thank you.
I know you've all been sitting here all morning. If you're uncomfortable with me hearing this case, I would be happy to recuse myself and step away.
No, just as long as I can say what happened as he came into the complex when he first moved in, because that's how our friendship developed, and it's important for the case.
Okay, well, I want you to feel comfortable.
I'm fine, because
moving
everybody
forward.
helps this man.
Okay.
I honor this man.
All right.
I've had the whole time I've been in his company.
Okay. All right. If you feel, are you pointing you now, Mr. Rika, comfortable with me hearing
Yes, sir.
the case? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, you've now been here through a couple of hearings, so I won't go over the ground rules again here. So, Mr. Rika, and I'm sorry, it's Rika.
Rika.
Gosh, yeah.
All right.
Rika. All right, Mr. Rika, I'll swear you in, and you'll go first. And sir, before you can put your hand down. I'm sorry. You're here with your daughter. Ma'am, do you want to put your name on the record just so we know?
Yeah, my name's Kendall Tuttle.
All right. And so Ms. Suttle's present with you. Sir, Mr. Rika, is there any other assistance you'll need today as far as moving forward with today's hearing? I don't believe there's any exhibits that need describing, but is there anything else that you would need?
Gregor Tuttle, my son-in-law, he might have some words to say too. I don't know. But otherwise, no, I'm good.
Okay, you're all right. Okay.
I will say that he's not able to really go online and submit things, and so that's why nothing was submitted. And he also hasn't viewed anything if anything else was submitted by Rob or.
Okay. All right. He did. Mr. Rob Schaefer did submit basically a response letter. And so again, if you want some time, we can reschedule if you want to.
I think we're okay, right?
Look at that.
Let's just move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in that case, Mr. Rika, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, where we start? Rob has a tendency to grab me. Now, as a blind man, as you probably witnessed, it's a vulnerability. It's a huge vulnerability. And after why I'm kind of the resident athlete, if you will, at times. And so I tend to go to the Y on a daily basis. I have not gone to the Y. This year I went January 4th and I went February 4th. Those are the only 2 days I've gone this year. Prior to that, I went every single day of the week. And mainly because I'll walk outside my house and this man will grab me. And I'll walk to the store and this man has grabbed me at the store. Or I'll be walking across the street. I can specify these more in detail, but I've walked across the street on Fairview and Legion, And he's grabbed me as I'm listening for cars, because the only way I can cross the street is after the, I'm constantly listening for cars. I didn't hear him pull up next to me, and then I didn't hear him get out of his car. All I know is that as I'm trying to walk across the street, I get grabbed from behind, and and every time, maybe the first couple of times I didn't tell him, get off me, but after that, I've said, get off me, don't touch me, quit grabbing me. The last time I was taking my trash out, someone else takes my trash out now for me, but I was taking my trash out, walking back at 10 yards, 10 meters away from my porch is a dumpster. And I'd walk to the dumpster, throw my trash away. And now I'm listening, and it's a ghost town, because I'm listening for him, because I know that he's going to grab me if I miss it. Anyways, so I get back to my walkway, and I miss it by a couple inches, a foot, whatever it is. I don't know. And which is an easy fix, though, because I take my cane, and which my cane is just an extension of my arm, and I feel my way over. But I missed my walkway by a little bit, and he grabs me. I didn't know he was there. And I yell. I'm hoping to catch some people coming out of their apartments or something, just so they can witness it, because I'm yelling, don't grab a blind man. Get off me. And so and I've switched my route from my house, because I used to go straight through to the street sidewalk, which is a grassy knoll area about 10 yards, again, from the sidewalk to the sidewalk of the city sidewalk to the apartment sidewalk. And so there's a 10-meter grass between there. So I walk 50 paces from the church driveway, and 50 steps. And then I'll take a right or left face. I'll toe the line at the grass, and then I'll walk straight across. I'll miss it every time, but I don't miss it by much. And I'll make those easy corrections, and then I'll get back on the sidewalk. But I had to change my route, because over and over and over again, he comes running over and grabs me, because he hangs out in his van, or they're on the parking lot. And
may I stop you and ask a question?
yes, please.
So how is it that you know it's Mr. Schaefer?
Oh, I can tell his voice.
Okay.
And
does he ever tell you? Does he ever introduce himself?
yeah, he said it's Rob or something. Yeah, but
right.
Mostly I hear his voice.
And
He's the only one on the planet that's ever grabbed me.
Okay.
I have people at times that will say, help me across the street, or police officers that will help me because I wander off into 4th Avenue, but before they touch me, even, or city workers, they'll say, sir, you need to step to your right. I'm going to grab your arm or something. They'll let me know. They don't just grab me. This person's the only person on the planet that grabs me. And it seems like he grabs me every time he gets around me. Now, I don't have eyes, so.
You have eyes, they just don't work.
My daughter's not eyes, and my son-in-law's not. But so I don't know how, where is that at any time? So I just.
Can I ask you another question? So
Please.
you mentioned that there was it sounds like a period where you may have kind of gotten a little angry, and you let him know, don't touch me.
Yes.
And now I'll ask him to kind of speak to what he put in the letter, so that you have the benefit of what he said as well.
Yes.
He also referenced an incident about 2 months ago, which I think you may be talking about the same thing. When would you say you clearly told him, please don't touch me anymore?
Time-wise?
Yeah. Can you think about how long ago that was?
Year ago or so?
It was about a year ago.
Maybe longer, but yeah. At first, I was going with. I was just like, okay, he's just trying to help. He doesn't understand the barriers, and after a few times it's happened, I just my intensity grew, and then that last time it was.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Mr. Rica. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Schaefer now. I'll let you respond. And if you could, I don't know if you have it in front of you, the letter you provided.
Yes.
I've read it, And
I'm gonna add to it, so you know the
Yeah.
situation
no, I've
when
read
he
it.
moved in.
And I think it would be helpful for everyone if you want to just, it's not too long, if you want to just read it
Sure.
first as well, so he can hear what you had to say.
This was a misunderstanding. I've known Mike since he moved into the Olympia Village. He still had his sight. We became good friends. We spoke scripture. I felt like he was my spiritual brother. Over the years, I helped him along with another disabled gentleman named Jim Blevins, who no longer lives there. There were many times when Mike would get off his path, and I would call his name and gently place my hand on him and guide him back to safety, and he would thank me for his help. Also would help him with food, showing him what food was what in the area where the food was. The last action that happened with Mike was 2 months ago, when in front of his place, I saw him heading toward a rose bush that has these sharp canes with these stickers. And I attempted to stop him from falling by placing my hand on his shoulder. I did not grab him. I placed my hand on his shoulder to stop him from getting hurt. And that's when he exclaimed, "Never touch a blind man." And I knew I could say no more because he was angry. So I walked away. This is the only thing that ever happened. I never followed him. I never grabbed him. I never harassed him in any way. In fact, most who lived at the village would look out for him like I did. So this is very upsetting to me to take an action like this or over helping somebody from being hurt. I'm saddened greatly by this because I thought we were friends for many years, and I helped this man. Only to be treated like this is very sad. Because I need to add this in. When he moved in, we made friends fast. He came in a Jeep. He was working construction as a carpenter. And he told me his story, that he was in the military, that he was the top mixed martial artist in the world. I had utmost respect and honor for this man. And then he told me he was a preacher, and we spoke scripture. And I felt like this connection. I was proud to call him my friend. I helped him for many, many, many years. I always looked out for him. And he told me he was going to lose his sight when he first came in. I was devastated because I wanted to help him. I wanted him to train me what he knew through this mixed martial arts, because I was just like, I was infatuated with that. And so I went to my computer and I found this one man named Dr. Wallach, and I gave him the information. The only man I ever knew that I talked to about Mike's condition, this detached retina.
And if I could just,
Okay, well, okay, so I'll move it along. I'll move it along.
Yeah,
But I've always looked out for him. I told him when this happened, I said, "I got your back, man. I'll watch out."
So what I'm curious
and
about.
he gave me his Jeep.
Okay. All right. So
And then his family came along and wanted it back, and I gave it back to him.
All right.
But I never, the whole time I ever knew this man, I always honored him and respected him.
Mr. Schaefer, if I could come in and ask you a question. Mr. Rika has indicated that about a year ago, he's saying he communicated to you that he didn't want to be touched. Sounds like you
Never happened.
So you're denying that
It never happened. I was too busy with the woman I'm living with has edema and her foot blew up like a basketball, and I had to work with that. I had no time for anybody else after that. Jim was gone. I always dedicate my time in this place to help people. I come from my heart to help people. I don't try to traumatize people. When I did traumatize Mike, I felt so bad when I was trying to keep him from getting hurt by that rose bush that I didn't talk to him for 2 months after that. God said, "Leave him alone. He'll come around and we'll be able to talk." It never happened. My heart hurts over this.
So do you acknowledge that, or I shouldn't say it that way, this rose bush incident, did Mr. Rika during this
That's
incident
when he told me,
Okay.
"Don't ever touch a blind man."
Okay.
And I couldn't explain to him what I was trying to do to prevent him from
Right.
hitting this rose
Okay.
bush.
Okay.
And it hurts me so bad because I didn't do any of these things that's claimed in this petition. I never did any of them.
So Mr. Schaefer, I'm sorry, Mr. Rika, back to you. Since this, do you know this rose bush incident he's talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since
I don't know the rose bush. because I never touched it.
Okay.
But I know
since
the
that-
incident.
Okay, since that incident, has Mr. Schaefer
No,
touched you
he
to
has
your
not touched
knowledge?
me.
Okay.
But you don't leave your house anymore.
But I don't leave my house anymore either. And if you go to the gym, you know I haven't been there. And there's a grocery store incident where I made it. I got my groceries, and it's a whole ordeal with it when you're blind. I got my groceries. I got through the checkout stand. I got almost to the door, the south door of Ralph's, and I get grabbed from behind. And then he grabs my cane and jerks my cane out of my hand. And he says, "You're going to knock over that plant." I'm like, "You need to let go of me. You need to let go of my cane and leave me alone."
And may I ask, I want to make sure, because one thing
This
that-
happened a few months prior to the last incident.
Okay, so one thing that that it's my job to make clear is that, a lot of times, especially when there's some friction in a relationship, there will be something like, "Get off me, I don't want to talk to you," things of that nature, that's in context seem more fleeting. And one of the things I have to do is make sure that someone has clear notice, especially if there's been a prior friendship or something like that, some kind of relationship, that the person, it's clearly communicated that you don't want any more contact at all. This is not like, "Get away from me, I don't want to talk to you right now," that sort of thing, but a clear break in the relationship where you do not want contact anymore. And so, you've referenced a couple of interactions where sounds like you were sort of touched unexpectedly. Maybe Mr. Schaefer's intent was to help, but your response has been to "Please don't touch me." Can you speak a little bit to, if you recall, the context of you saying that? Was that, "Don't touch me, I don't want to be touched ever"? Or was it, "I don't need help right now, I'm good"? If you can tell that distinction, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay. There was an incident last time my son visited me from New York, on the corner, the northeast corner of Fairview and Legion. I was waiting for traffic, and the only way I know when there's traffic is I listen for it. And there's 14 intersections between my house and the gym, so I've become pretty adequate. Although whatever it is, but and my son drove by me. He said, "Hey, Dad," and so I said, "Go on home, go on to the house. I'll meet you over there." And so and then I started taking off to walk across the street. I didn't hear him pull up on Fairview and stop at Legion. But next thing I know, I'm getting grabbed from behind. I said, "Dude, I do this every single day. I've got this. Get off me."
So if I can pause right
Yes.
there. So Mr. Schaefer, I saw you had quite a reaction to that. Can you tell
I have
me what's your
never,
perspective of
in the
things like
store,
that? Uh-huh.
anytime I'm around Mike, I always say, "Mike, it's Rob." I always identify myself to him all the time. If he's in a situation where I think he's going to get hurt, I'll say, "Stop" first. I'll say, "Stop, Mike. It's Rob. I'm coming over."
Mm-hmm.
I never have ever approached it because I respect this man. I know what his training is. And I would be a fool to grab somebody with that kind of training because he could snap me like a twig and I know it. So I would never do that. Never, out of respect
Do you
for what
announce
he
yourself?
knows.
Do you announce yourself and then kind of hold him, or do you?
I
announce yourself and
always
wait for
acknowledge
him
myself. I come gently, grab his arm and bring him back into a safe place where he knows where he's at so he can proceed home. All the time.
But hang on. Do you? I just want to make sure I'm clear. Is what the practice that you announce yourself
Yes,
and then, in your view, sort of touch him gently?
very gently.
So
I'm always
do you
respectful.
announce yourself and wait for him to
Yes.
give you well, so those are two different things. Do you wait for him to tell you it's okay, or do you sort of, in your view, again, gently, but touch him?
When I
without
acknowledge that it's me,
Yeah.
then I touch him.
Okay.
And he's okay. And he always thanks me every time when I get him back in the safe zone.
Okay.
On the road, when he's out running around, I have seen him in my car. I never stop my car and get out of my car to grab him. I would never do that. Like I said, I'd be foolish to do that. This man was number one
Nope, okay, I
mixed
understand.
martial
All right.
artist.
There's one more part of the petition I want to ask about. Mr. Rique, you also claim that Mr. Schaefer has gone into your home without permission. Can you speak to that?
Well, he might not see it as not permission, but I didn't. Someone knocked on my door, and I yelled, "Who is it?" Somebody, and not, they knocked again. He yelled, and I heard someone saying something, but I didn't know who it is. And so he came in. Okay. Instead of opening the door and saying it's Rob, he just opened the door and came in and said that he came to help me clean my fridge. And I told him no. No. I said, you need, I know, I told him, I didn't tell him you need to do anything. I told him I've got it covered. That's all I said to him. And he said something else that, oh, Cynthia sent him over to see my, Cynthia's the owner of the complex, to help me clean my fridge. I said, I got it covered. Now, Cynthia knows, because I've mentioned it several times in several different settings, that because someone actually said to me one day when we were having this little sit down in my court, you do so well for a blind man. And I said, well, you'd think so. But for some reason, whenever Rob's around, I can't take another step without him grabbing me and helping me out. Because I don't make a whole lot of mistakes. I mean, my cane guides me through a lot. And I've been ran over. I've had my feet ran over. I've had my cane ran over, but I haven't been hit by cars or anything like that. I manage. But for some reason, when Rob's around, I get grabbed. And no, he does not announce his name every time he comes up and grabs me. At the store, I didn't know until after I was grabbed that it was him, because I was ready to yell, someone called 911. Because somebody was grabbing me. And then after he grabbed me, he started talking. I knew who it was. And I told him, let go of my cane, let go of me, and don't touch me. Same thing at the at Northeast corner. I've got this. I do this every day. Let go of me. And now Cynthia, I don't know why she sent him over, because she knows very well, she's admitted to me, that he grabs her children, and her children, who are adults, have both told Rob specifically that if he touches them one more time, they're going to punch him, because it's a habit of his. And Cynthia, the owner of the complex, has mentioned, oh, I got to tell you this too, but as mentioned, I forget where I was going with that.
All right. Well,
but I wanted to tell you something, Your Honor. I'm in the process of moving. I'm moving because of this. And I didn't know, I got word a few days ago that I got accepted into a complex. And, but I still am more than think this is necessary, because I don't know the extent of his predatory behavior. And that's how I see it.
Right.
And, but I am moving, and I'm in the process of doing that. I'm paid up till the end of the month, but I'm in the process of moving at this time.
Okay.
I think that I should have told that you're right up front, but anyways.
Okay. Oh, that's all right. So, you know, I see a couple more people want to contact. So I'm at the point where I think I'm ready though. So I'm gonna.
Can I say one more thing?
Okay, one more thing. Yeah.
This petition that I've been living in this place for over 10 years, helping everybody inside of this village, has gotten me thrown out of there.
So
I no longer have a place. I can't afford to get another place. This has conveniently gotten me out of here. So this petition that we're having, we don't even really need. And everything that's being stipulated is a false accusation. I never touched this man out when he's running around. I know he's capable. He's sometimes getting ready to fall off the curb, and I call his name, tell him to stop, and I tell him it's Rob. I've done this my entire time. I've helped disabled people in this building for years.
Schaefer, I understand what you're saying.
I can't believe what's being said here in this courtroom.
If I could just say one thing, I'll keep it very short. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
For years, I've
no,
helped you.
Okay.
it's no.
Okay.
For non-parties, it needs to be necessary material. But here's the thing: I am going to grant the order, but it's going to be a limited order, in that you're just not going to be allowed to have any direct communication with him. That's it. Okay, it's not going to affect where you live. It's not, if you're not living together at all or anywhere near each other, and you don't have reason to see each other, there shouldn't be any reason for this order to affect your life whatsoever. All right. But you know, I think that Mr. Rika has met his burden of, you know, more likely than not, it sounds like he's asked not to be touched in a way that I think, based on what I'm hearing, has been sort of a clear communication not to be touched. This is not a comment on your intent. You may have been intending to help, but
From my heart on everything.
right. Then I'm not commenting on that. But what I'm looking at is, has there been communication from Mr. Rika to you that he doesn't want to be touched at all, even if you feel he might be in danger or something like that? And if but then if that behavior has continued since that clear communication, and I based on what I'm hearing, I think Mr. Rika has met that burden, and what he's telling me on sort of how it's affected his leaving and sort of his day-to-day life. It seems to me that seems to have caused him some substantial emotional distress. You may vehemently disagree with that and think it's an irrational way to have responded, but I do think that is how he's responded here, and that's how he's taken that interaction. So again, this is going to be an order that's just protective of him and communication directly with him. No restrictions on your ability to live anywhere. It's just to not contact him.
The damage has already been done by the filing anyhow, because I don't know, I'm in the street.
Well, and this is just between you, the two of you, nothing about where to live or anything of that nature. All right.
And that he was we scripture. I mean, for Lord's sake, I cannot
the
believe
relationship
this.
has changed, it sounds
I
like.
can't
So
believe this.
so I'll be entering an order later today. But again, that's going to be just have no contact directly or indirectly with Mr. Rika. And that's the extent of the order. But that's going to go into effect later today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions from either of you?
No.
All right. So I'll ask Mr. Rika if you and your family want to stay, just so we don't have
Yes.
folks leaving at the same time. We'll do that.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. Thanks, Mr. Schaefer.
Can I stand up then?
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Sure, I'll see you at the gym.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you.
I'm crossing the street, doing fine on the grind. Here comes old Rob, grabbing me from behind. He's worried I'll hit a rose bush or fall down and face plant. I said never touch a blind man. He sends me on such a rant. I'm a kung fu fighting preacher. I do fine even blind. So go mind your own business, Rob, and I'll go mind mine.